I feel absolutely defeated.
I've hit a little bit of a wall with the van build. I come back to the in-laws' place to stay because I had to get a few things delivered, and I think I was just on such a roll with the whole build, and then when it kind of got held up with waiting for things to be delivered, and then they've taken longer than they were supposed to take to arrive, and I just kind of lost momentum, and I've hit a few tricky points with the build, a few things that I'm just spent probably hours standing there staring at, trying to nut out. Bound to happen by this point. I think I was making very good time on the build. Today has been no time at all on the build. I have just been getting some editing done. I have a few jobs that I need to get smashed out in the next day or two, so I'll be doing that again tomorrow as well. Yeah, motivation is lacking a little bit with the build. It's just, I just kind of want to be on the road now. I'm pretty keen to be living out of it, and the fact that I'm waiting on these items to be delivered before I can do that just means that now I've lost my incentive to kind of keep the pace of the build because I have to wait either way. So we have a package. Very excited about this. This is my fridge. I haven't opened it up yet, so away, here we go. Would you look at that? Beautiful. How good. Now I went for an upright fridge because I've done my fair share of car camping and the old chest fridges just suck. They're a pain for getting things in and out of. Stuff goes off in the bottom, things cool unevenly. So I really wanted the convenience of having a good fridge because I want to be able to eat well on this trip. Food is a big priority, nutrition is a big priority to me. So we went for an upright. When I was comparing them, there was a 60 litre and an 85 litre, I think was the difference. And the 60 litre was almost half the size of this, like 3/4 of the size of this, but like 30 euros cheaper. And I figured since I have the space, I might as well cop the bigger one, and just gives me a lot more room to be able to meal prep and store a bit more fresh food, which would be great on the road. It's also still fits well and truly underneath my bench top, so no worries there. In fact, there should just be enough room to put a cutlery drawer over the top, which is my plan. I found in this build that cleaning has been a really great motivator for me. When I clean everything up, it just makes everything a lot easier to then get work done. When it's just a mess in here and it's chaotic, I look around, I can't tell where things are, what I've actually done, what I haven't done, and it just looks kind of overwhelming. When I clean everything up, I look at it and go, oh wow, it's looking great. Look how much I've done, which then motivates me to, cool, I want to do more. And so I've been starting most mornings with a quick clean, tidy everything up. Yes, maybe I should do it at the end of the day, but we do it in the mornings. It's a nice way to start the day. Clean up and then get into the build. Obviously, I'd prefer to enclose this whole bed box with just one nice piece of clean plywood and just cut out around all the components. However, that is a first world luxury and we don't have that. So I'm starting to run out of plywood, and obviously I don't want to buy a whole new sheet if I don't need that much. I have all these scraps, so I figure if I can, I'm just going to kind of jigsaw these scraps together to make this front facade. It won't look the cleanest, but I'm going to paint it all. I should be able to hide the gaps pretty well. It's honestly, yeah, it'll be fine. I'm going to put a little door in the middle here so that there's access through to the back storage. If I want to store anything long, I can slide it through from underneath. And also if I just want to access things from inside without having to go out the back, I can also do that. These side bits here, it's a nice little scrap here, it just happens to fit perfectly, so that's great. I've already got this side cut here with all the parts for my power board, as I was cutting out before, so that'll all fit in there. I've got one piece here. I was thinking of making the door bigger. However, this is the biggest single piece I have left. So I think this is going to have to be as big as it is. Unfortunately, that's just how it's working with scraps. And then I've got some funky bits left over here. This one's from cutting out wheel arch. I just don't think we're going to get to use this bit of ply. I think this might just go to waste. But also just been filling in all of the gaps in the walls, the final little bits. There's a few tricky little corners that I still haven't done, these front corners here. I've got pieces now that will fit the holes, so I'm just going to try and cut them and kind of fudge them in there. And have finished the whole back bedroom area, which has been a massive hold up. I finally got that done. Absolute mission, but stoked it's done and keen to get it all painted and cover up all of my fuck ups. Just had to go order another battery because the one I had ordered hadn't arrived yet, and it was supposed to be shipped out within 1 to 5 business days. I ordered it last weekend, and there was a long weekend, so I gave them a bit of leeway. But yesterday I sent them an email being like, hey, where's my battery at? Like, I haven't even got notification it's been shipped. They get to me, they're like, oh, it's on back order. It won't be ready until mid-July or something. I was like, what? Like, nice if you let me know. So I had to send them an email like, hey, I need a refund. And then I've just gone and found a new one. I wish I'd found this one before. It's coming from a shop up north where I was when I ordered the last one. So I could have gone and picked it up straight away. Didn't know that place existed. So anyhow, they said it'll be shipped out. It should arrive by tomorrow. So hopefully that's all good. It'll get shipped tomorrow and it should arrive tomorrow. Because that's just kind of been holding up all my electrics, as I need a battery. I've pretty much done everything else other than the solar panel. Everything else is starting to get wired in. So it'd be great to have a battery so we can actually start testing things, make sure things are working, because I don't want to like seal everything up, plug in the battery and then be like, oh, it doesn't work. I'm pretty keen to get this thing painted. It's been quite a few days now that I thought I'd get the painting done, and I've just had other things I need to finish off so I can get it done. So I've just done a little test square here just to see how it looks after one coat. I'm considering just doing one coat because I kind of want the sort of semi-whitewashed look. We'll see though, we might decide we need 2 coats, but I'm going to start taping up the ceiling because all the edges I don't want to get paint on the ceiling. I'm going to leave that raw wood. So definitely don't want to be spilling across there, and any other parts that don't want paint on them, I'm just going to tape all of those edges so that I can easily run a brush along and paint everything that wants to be painted and not get the bits that don't want to be painted. Basically, I will be putting some trimmings on, especially around the roof, between the roof and the walls. So that'll probably be about 10 to 15 mil, which gives me a bit of leeway if there is some spillage of paint or whatnot. But ideally we get it right with just by taping it and don't have to rely on the trims. I'm already going to be relying on them pretty heavily, actually, to be honest, to try and fill up some of the gaps between things, because everything's just not quite straight in here. So there's a few kind of little gaps and plywood slightly bowed and all these things. So along here we've got some bit of movement, so there's a bit of a gap there and a bit of a gap here, not quite straight cuts, all that sort of thing. So we'll definitely be using the trim to fill up those and hide all my fuck ups, essentially. Not sure how long I have. This mic is about to die. First coat is done. Took me like 3 hours, a lot longer than I was anticipating. So I had to go get some more paint because I used 2 pots for the whole first coat and I had 1 pot left. Probably would just be enough, but I've got a few other panels I've got to do as well that I haven't done yet, so I figured I'd get an extra pot. I also decided to get a bigger roller just to see if I could speed the process up a little bit, because that little roller was very slow. The second coat should be quicker anyways because there won't be so much paint being soaked up, but yeah, let's get the second coat done and get on to the rest of things because the day is going by very quickly. Love is a lie, and so we begin.
I feel absolutely defeated. Today was supposed to be a super exciting day. I was going to pick up my permit and get the car registered in my name, and it has turned into probably the most disappointing and stressful mornings of my life. I'm not someone who gets stressed ever. I'm such a chill and relaxed person, even in the most kind of hectic situations. I always keep a level head, but this morning, yeah, I was stressed big time. Had to drive 2 hours to Amsterdam to pick up the permit. I ended up being late for my appointment because traffic ended up being like an hour on top of what maps had initially said. So I got there 25 minutes late for my appointment. They wouldn't let me in. I had to call and beg them to let me in after some very, very unwillingness to let me in. I managed to get them to pull some strings for me, got my permit, only to find out that I still need to go and register for a BSN number to actually be able to register the car in my name. I thought I was getting that with my permit. Apparently not. It just means I can now go to the municipality and get it registered. So I have to book another appointment to go and do that. And the next available appointment for that is until after the weekend, so 4 days from now. And then apparently it can take between a day and a few weeks for that to actually go through and for me to get the BSN number. Now, I'm supposed to be in the Dolomites with some friends in 6 days. I don't think it's going to happen. I can't take this car international while it's not registered in my name. I'm honestly screwed. I just feel like giving up. This is just... It's exhausting. I wanted to travel. The van life dream is not easy. I've got like probably 2-3 more days less, probably a day or two left of things to do in the van if I take it slow, and then it's going to be pretty much all ready to go. But it's still not legal to drive it. I'm not insured to drive it, and yeah, not having a good day. I'm exhausted as well. I didn't get much sleep last night because I woke up super early to try and get stuff done today before I left Amsterdam. So I had like 5 hours of sleep. I've been running off. Yeah, I've just been running at 100%, 10% capacity all week, grinding out the work in the van, and now I'm wrecked.
As you can see, it is complete and utter chaos in here at the moment. I haven't filmed much of this process because it's just been all over the place, but I've just been wiring up a bunch of the electrics. So as you can see, we've got lights now. These are wired into the 12-volt system. And we've got this light here, this nice little strip light, which is great, my work light for kitchen. This is like my nice kind of chill, wrong switch, evening vibes sort of light. And then when I'm cooking, I'll turn this light on, and yeah, good work lights. I've done all the electrics in here, not all, but all the main electrics. So I've got the DC-DC charger wired up. That's great. It has an automatic alternator detector built into it, so it only charges this battery when the car's running, so it won't drain my starter battery. So it has a voltage cutoff, and when it drops below that voltage, the charger just cuts off and isolates the batteries, which is amazing. So I don't have to worry about running my starter battery dead. It will only ever drain off the leisure battery, and then when I drive, it'll charge both. Then I've got the solar charger that's wired in. I haven't hooked up the solar panels yet, though. I've run a cable up here ready to run out the roof. I just haven't put this on the roof yet. And then I've also wired in the inverter, and I've then got an extension to a plug that'll be here. So all my little power board here that I made is just under the bed here, which will just be kind of tucked into this seat. Should be really nice. See, the cover goes on this seat, and that'll actually be a seat there, so all these electrics should be hidden. There's a switch for the inverter as well, so that's not running all the time, and they turn it on when you need it because it'll drain lots of power. And I've also wired up the sink. So that was actually surprisingly easy. I kind of thought that'd be tricky to get working, but I literally just wired it up, connected it in, and it works beautifully. So that was super simple. I just need to waterproof the connections because there's a bit of leaking happening there. But that's just to be expected. I've just ripped it out of the packet. So yeah, overall, very happy with a very solid day's work. Even though it was off to a shit start, we got lots done, and man, I love electrics. It's just so satisfying when you get lights and you can start flicking switches. And I've got a bunch of USB ports up here, USB-C and USB-A for charging. So I'm going to create a little charging station up here. You can use it just tucked away. I can leave stuff up there charging, which will be great. I've also got some more USB outlets down here for charging next to the bed and charging stuff when you're working at table. And then, I've also wired in the fridge. I've set that on a separate switch so I can turn it on and off. Even though you can turn it off in here, I just feel like it's good to be able to isolate it. And I haven't obviously mounted it in yet, but it's wired, good to go. Obviously, one thing you want to think about when wiring your fridge is to make sure you've got enough wire to pull your fridge in and out. If anything goes wrong behind, or you ever want to take it out, you don't want to be ripping wires out. You want to have enough spare wires to pull it all the way out, disconnect the wires, take it out. I could have got a loophole because obviously I've got the space all open, so I could have put it in and wired it, but I made sure I've got the extra so that I can pull it further than this out and it's still connected. So one thing to think of if you're ever wiring in a fridge. Otherwise, peace out. That is a wrap on today. I think we'll try and get, I say an early night, it's 10 o'clock. This European summer is unreal. I absolutely love it, but it's also exhausting because I'm end up pulling like close to 16-hour days most of the time working this van because I'm getting up at 6:30 and I'll be working. Obviously I'll take probably an hour's worth of breaks over the whole day, so maybe it's more like 15 hours, but most nights I don't finish till 10:30, 11 because it's still light. Like the sun sets in 7 minutes. It's not even sunset yet. So then there's still like another half hour light after that. And I have my own lights in here, so I can keep working if I want to, but I need to get some sleep and we'll get back into it in the morning. I held those bits in my hand the whole time I was talking. I was supposed to be packing up. Let's be real, we're going to do that in the morning. Have just spent the morning doing a bit of mechanics and a bit of an overall mechanical check over on the car. We checked the brakes and we've just checked filters, oil, air, diesel filter, making sure everything's looking clean, looking sorted, and it's great. One of my uncle's relatives is an ex-mechanic, so he's been helping go over everything and just check everything's in good order. It honestly all looks really clean. We're both super surprised by how clean the engine is and everything's in great nick, so very stoked with that. Glad that I've got the tick of approval from an expert on that front. Now just trying to diagnose the issue I've had with the electrics, still causing me problems. I got a diagnostic tool and I've plugged it in and it's not reading anything, it's just not powering up. So now I have a feeling that the issue might be something to do with the data cables and I've potentially shorted something out. I'm not sure exactly what I can do about that. I've checked all the fuses and the fuses all seem fine, so I might go next level and check some of the other, I'm gonna have to recheck everything. So we've retrofitted some brackets and he's got a crane out the back here, so we used that to lift the roof rack on, and then now we're just tweaking some angles in the brackets to get the screws to lock in. But
we've got a roof rack on, which is sick. That gives me, you can see, roof rack, which gives me something to mount the solar panels onto, and I'm also pretty keen to build like a little sun deck up there so that you can go chill up on the roof, which would be pretty cool. My thought process with the placement of the panel is that obviously I have the skylight here, so I need to avoid that, and I want to leave space on the roof to build a little sun deck up here and also be able to store long things, you know, if anyone wanted to be able to put a sup board or who knows, you know, that leave space up here so that you could store long things, because it seems like a waste to have nice roof racks like this and not be able to do that. So what I'm thinking is for it to sit in this back corner here. Now I'd go this side because on this side there's the door that is the second door to open. So if you just open one door, you'd open this side. So this side will be the side that I put a ladder on. And then, yeah, obviously we'll put the solar panel on this side. I haven't got quite as much done as I was hoping to today, mainly because I ended up having a few exciting phone calls instead of working, which is fine, that happens. And they're both really cool things I'm working on. The first of which is a film project, sort of a short film, more of a longer film. We're still undecided about the exact length of the feature, but it'll probably be kind of the, I guess, short feature film length. And we're looking to produce that beginning of next year. So I'll be co-directing and filming all of that next year, which is pretty exciting. We're very much in the development stage now, looking through getting some sponsorship and that sort of thing. But yeah, very excited for that one. We've got another call tomorrow to dive into more things, because today we just kind of ended up catching up for most of the call and then had to duck off. So as always happens when you work with mates. Second call, however, was with another good mate, and he's someone that I absolutely look up to. His work is incredible, and we've worked together in the past, but he needs some help on a 2-week-long campaign coming up in a couple weeks, shooting around Europe for an absolute dream client of mine. So that's huge. We're still just getting everything locked down for it, but I'll be taking you along for that because it's going to be wicked. It's one of the biggest projects that I've worked on, and it's going to be on a global scale. So very excited to share that. But for the time being, I've got the solar panels on and wired in. The only thing I need to do, there was actually a hole in the roof already that had been closed over, obviously from, I don't know, maybe, it might even be something that's built into the van to be able to run like lights on the roof or any kind of accessory on the roof. So I just had like a little cover on it that I pulled off. So I've run the cables in through that. I just need to now water seal that. So I'll have to go to the hardware store tomorrow and get something to water seal that. For now, it's under the solar panel, so it's not going to get water coming in, but if it was to rain, water would run and drip in. So I've done that. I also painted the outside of this vent. It was white, and the white with the blue van just wasn't a vibe. I didn't like it. It really stood out. It just didn't look very good. So I painted it black on the outside so it blends in. It's the same color as the roof racks and the solar panels. It kind of all meshes together now. And all the brackets and the mounting for the solar panel I painted black as well. So it's just all quite cohesive now on the roof, which I really like. Just one addition as well. Little exhaust fan. It's a bit noisy, so you probably wouldn't run it at night when you're sleeping, but it gets some good circulation, and it'll be great for when I'm cooking. Keep that circulation going in here. Super important. And yeah, it's pretty, it's not too quiet. It's actually pretty decent. But the other day when we were installing the roof rack, we managed to bend the metal bracket that pushes up this vent. So I've just taken it all apart, straightened that, and now I'm just going to put it all back together again. But it was a bit fiddly to get in there, so yeah, I'm not really looking forward to putting it back together, but that's all right. We shall work it out. As much as these nice little trims are covering up all the gaps, I forgot how freaking annoying they are to put in. And especially in this tight space, and because there's not necessarily solid bits behind these panels, some of them kind of have a bit of movement, so trying to nail into them is just near impossible.
I'm just absolutely butchering them. Like, it's covering up the gaps, but then I've just got like nails all over the place. Like, yeah, it doesn't look great. I had to get a tiny little drill bit to pre-drill holes for the nails because trying to just nail them in was just causing way too much difficulty. Having pre-drilled them, I did this one here. This was much easier. This has solid wood behind it as well though, so it makes it a lot easier just to tap it in. This one along here, absolute nightmare because everything just, like, it's solid, but it just moves a little bit. And so when you try to nail into that, there's just that bit of give. And so then things don't go in all the way. Like, this nail just keeps on coming out. Oh, it's not even holding into anything. That's why. So frustrating. So family had these old cushions from a camper van laying around and they were just taking up space, so they offered for me to use them. They're the perfect width for the seats that I've made. However, they're just a little bit long. So of course, I decided that rather than just getting rid of them and wasting them, I would cut them and then try and re-stitch them back together, the cover, so that I can basically make them a bit smaller. This is quite a loose weave, however, though. I don't know if you can really see here, but the minute you cut it, it just starts to fray, which makes it a bit difficult to stitch back together, especially since I'm doing this all by hand. So what I'm doing at the moment is just running a bit of a hem around the whole edge. So hopefully that'll kind of keep the edge together a bit and stop it from fraying. So you can see here, this top edge is looking a lot better already. And then I'll do this bottom edge, and then I should be able to pull these two edges together like so, and I'll run a stitch along there. And then I'll probably end up putting this end against the wood there anyway, so that you can't see my messy stitching. But hey, it's hand stitching, so we're doing our best. It's definitely not grandma spec by any means. I think the hem stitch is doing me dirty. It's look pretty messy, but it'll do. It seems pretty solid, should hold, and we'll put it on that side so you can't see it. Happy days, no one be the wiser. Now, I haven't filmed much the last couple of days just because I've been, well, kind of ticking away slowly on the build. Just been little finishing details, really. Nothing much interesting. Mainly just building this cabinetry here, which has just been a lot of trial and error back and forth. I filmed a bit and that's pretty much all the interesting part of it. The rest has just been trying to fit things, finding out that they're this much too big, taking them, cutting them, then finding out that this too much small, and doing that about 100 times. And then taking it all apart, putting it back together, and taking it all apart, putting it back together. Just, yeah, it's been a process. But this morning, I got some very exciting news. My BSN number finally arrived. It has been a week since I went to the appointment, and I've just been kind of praying, waiting every day that it rocks up. It arrived this morning, just then, and yeah, it means I can. I've just contacted the seller, and hopefully he is free this weekend, and we can sort out the documents, and then I'm good to go. I can finally hit the road. It feels surreal, honestly. The amount of time I've just gotten used to just sitting still and just waiting and waiting and waiting for this process. It has been weeks now that I've just kind of been dawdling, and yeah, it's here. It's finally here. I can hit the road. I might even catch everyone down in the Dolomites. If we can get sorted today, I could drive down tomorrow, and I might even be able to catch a few of the crew down in the Dolomites. I'm very excited. This is huge. I was going to paint today. I think I will still try and paint. What I discovered was the paint that I got, I just got it from a store called Action. I wasn't planning to buy the paint from there. I just went to buy some other stuff and saw the paint and it looked cheap. And I was like, great, cheap, white paint. It said walls and furniture on it. I was like, yep, that'll do. happy days. Didn't really research much about it. It's all in Dutch, so, you know, didn't really read the fine print. Yeah, it turns out it wasn't really great paint. I painted everything with it and then have realized that while it will work and like obviously it's white, it looks okay, the color is not ideal. It's a bit too kind of clean, sterile white. I don't love it. I'd probably like a bit more of an off-white, but that's, you know, whatever. The main problem is that it's not really, and it's not very durable. Like it's, like if it gets dirty, it picks up dirt really easily. So like if you smudge a hand on it, it'll leave like a smudge on it, and then you can't wipe it clean. Like it'll basically, if you wet it, the paint just starts to wipe off. So yes, I could just leave it, and that's was my original kind of thought, was just, oh well, fuck it, like doesn't matter. But it's just gonna get dirty and look pretty grody in here pretty quickly, I think. I'd rather be able to have it cleanable so I can wipe stuff down and keep it clean in here. And obviously I still have a bunch of area, this whole cabinet, seat and stuff that I've added in since I did painting as well. The door, which nicely slides. It's a bit stiff, but yeah, all of that needs painting as well. So if I'm going to paint that, then I might as well just do all the rest as well with a better paint. So I'm going to buy some new paint and paint that. I think I'm going to try and smash that out this morning. Oh, it's going to be a big day. It's going to be a really big day. This is going to be a huge day, but I'm keen. I'm very keen because it means that I might be able to hit the road tomorrow. Finally. I might be going to the Dolomites tomorrow. And if you know me or we've spoken over the last year, you know that Dolomites has been up here on my bucket list. I absolutely love the place. I've never been. I've just seen so much content from there, and I feel like it's a rite of passage as a content creator. I have to go to the Dolomites, like, and I have to get some incredible content there. I just need to go. I really, 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 really want to do it. I want to do it properly. I'm planning to do multiple trips to Dolomites over my time here in Europe. This will be the first, hopefully, yeah, with a bit of crew down there, and it'll be great because I can get some shots of other people and they can get shots of me, that sort of thing, which will be really sick. And then I'm planning to go back again probably in autumn when the colours change, which also very excited for that. But it'd be nice to get a little bit of a feel for the place and a bit of an understanding of the place with some crew who have been before. They've all been to the Dolomites a few times, so they know the area, they know what's good, they know what's up. Yeah, pumped. Let's go. Oh, hey, I just got some new paint. This is the color we're going with. It's much more durable, designed to be stain resistant and easily wiped down, scrubbed down even. Also water based, so it should go over the top of the paint they already have there, no worries. You can see the color difference there. It's a bit more of a kind of cream off-white, which I really like, should be nice. So we're gonna get that painted. Looks like I'm going to be doing the transfer docs tomorrow because that's when the seller's available. So we'll do that tomorrow, and means I probably won't make it to the Dolomites till maybe the afternoon, the day after. I do have a few things I've ordered online that are still coming, and they're not coming till that day as well. So depending when they come as to when I can leave. One of those things is a new wiring harness for the car head unit. Because basically I never got it working properly since I installed it. I basically spent an entire day wasted trying to install that unit, and it's just caused problems. So initially had issues with the reverse camera. Pretty much got those issues sorted now, but one issue that just never managed to diagnose was all of my gauges on the dash just didn't work. So my speed, my revs, fuel, and temperature gauges just weren't working. And pretty much no matter what I tried, I checked all the fuses, I checked wiring, I unplugged the current radio, nothing, wouldn't work. And apparently My uncle's uncle, who's a mechanic, he had no idea either, because when he worked on cars, didn't have all these electronics. He spoke to a friend who is also a mechanic, and he has worked on this model of car before, and he said that apparently the OEM radio unit has a code inbuilt into the radio that the cam system of the car actually needs to operate properly. So essentially, I need the original head unit. There's no way to put an aftermarket one in. Apparently some kind of anti-theft or security or something, I'm not sure, but yeah, pretty much I just have to get rid of the fancy head unit that I got, which is unfortunate. But the second issue with that is that, of course, when I put the new one in, I had to cut the old harness off. I should have just got an adapter, but me being me, gun-ho, I just went in there and started cutting things. Don't do that. You learn. We live and we learn. That's yeah, we won't do that again. But moral of the story is, now I need to get a new harness for it. And I went to a few auto shops here. None of them seemed to have the right part. They all had ones that were supposedly for this vehicle. When they looked up in their system, this is what was supposed to be for this vehicle. However, when we tried it, it just didn't fit. So this must have, I don't know, some weird model or whatever. It's not the right fit. So I've had to order one online, which looks like it's the right shape, pin arrangement. So fingers crossed that that fits. And yeah, so that's coming on Monday, 2 days from now. So I'll have to wait around for that. And then hopefully I should be able to just reconnect up the old wires to the back of that, plug that in, and pray that it all works again. If it doesn't, I'm probably going to cry. I've literally wasted at least a day, probably more, trying to problem solve this after you include all the time that I spent problem solving. It's absolutely messing with my head. But anyways, time to get on to painting. Obviously I've got probably a day and a half now worth of time left before I'm hitting the road. So I've got a lot of things to get done in that time. But it's exciting because I'm finally hitting the road. So getting all the finishing touches done, painting is the big one. Get all of these new cabinets that I've put in painted, and then paint over all the old stuff as well. And we should be good to go. First coat of the new paint, and it is looking so good. So much better. I've changed clothes because I was just getting paint on stuff. Time to do second coat on a few areas. I'm not sure I've got enough paint to do second coat on the whole thing. So I'll likely just prioritize which areas really need a second coat, because obviously there was already that 2 coats of the previous paint underneath. So areas like this probably don't need a second coat, but areas around the kitchen and areas that are going to be kind of high touch will get a second coat. But yeah, overall really stoked. Wish I'd used this paint to start with. Honestly, I think it was actually probably about the same price as what I ended up paying for all of the crappy chalk paint as well. So what's the good old poor man pays twice? Yep. Anyways, we got there in the end. It's looking heaps better, and all the cabinetry and stuff painted looked really nice. I'm very keen to do the second coat and then get all the tape off and clean everything up a bit. There's still paint dust everywhere as well. I need to give the place a massive vacuum to get all the sawdust and paint dust and stuff out of here. And then yeah, we'll continue with decorating essentially. That's pretty much at the point we're at. I need to make a cover for my mattress and get that sorted. And yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good.